All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another ranking that we're doing today. Today, we are going to be ranking the best title defenses of Roman Reigns' run as the Tribal Chief from 2020 to 2024. Do we acknowledge Tribal Chief? First off, we got to make sure you're on the right side. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's make sure y'all on the correct side, not on the wrong side. You know what I mean? So you never know. You never know nowadays. We will rank them as always in order for the people who have watched these lists in the past, whether it was the John Cena one or it was the best superstars of the last decade. It will be in order from 1 to 10. As always, I have two guests on here to contribute to the list. Two new guests, first time on the channel, who I will let plug in their stuff, their socials. Make sure you guys show them some love. Follow their platforms. Check them out, man. They just did a big interview with Bobby Lashley not too long ago, and I think they have another one coming out soon. They did again. So,
yeah, what's up, guys? Vincent here, one half of the Lame Guys podcast. If you don't mind checking us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all Lame Guys podcasts. Like Malik just said, we just did one with Bobby Lashley, and yeah, hopefully by the time this video comes out, the second one will be posted. Hopefully, but yeah, I mean, just appreciate the opportunity to come on.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mario, one half of the Lame Guys podcast as well. Just want to say it's an honor to be here with Malik. Been watching him on TikTok, trying to come up just like him. So check out our pages. We're at the Lame Guys podcast, like Vincent said, and hopefully the second Bobby interview will be out by the time this comes out.
Let's dive into this topic, man. The top 10 best Roman Reigns championship defenses from 1 to 10. Do you guys want to start from the bottom or start from the top?
I mean, typically on our show we start from the bottom, so we go from 10 to 1. But we're on your show, Malik. 10 to 1? However you want to do it, man.
Well, I will do it like this. Do you feel like which one do you feel like is better to start with? Do you feel like the number 1 answer is easy to start with, the number 10 answer?
I feel like number 1 should be unanimous between the three of us.
Okay, so
I would hope.
Okay, so we could start. Let's start from 1. We'll start from 1 and go to 10. Because maybe it get a little bit harder, as we go throughout the rest of the list. So, and this is from 2020 to 2024. So anytime he submitted the championship, whether it was on PLE or SmackDown, even though he doesn't wrestle on SmackDown anymore, but in that particular time,
he had a few,
yeah. So number 1, I'm assuming we all have the Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania 40, unless somebody else has a different rebuttal.
No, that's it.
It should be unanimous between any wrestling fan that should be the number 1.
Okay, so we can knock that one out of the way. Number 1, WrestleMania 40, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. So we knew that it would probably be like the most overbooked match maybe in history, right? But we were all expecting and wanting that too. So,
bro, the end game of WrestleMania.
That last 10 minutes, oh man, it might have been the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Like, yeah. Bro, there's been a few times where I'm walking around pacing back and forth, like just don't know what's coming. Yeah. My wife's over here recording me, like it was epic. You knew, like you said, it was going to be overbooked, but you didn't know what exactly was going to happen. Shit was crazy.
I think we can all agree that the biggest surprise is the Undertaker appearance.
Yeah,
honestly,
right. I expected Stone Cold. I'm wearing a Stone Cold shirt.
Show up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's in that Shield gear, man. That definitely threw me off too. I was not expecting the Shield stuff. I was like, man, I thought Moxley was coming out for a second. I was like, no way, they got this.
Okay. That's what I was just about to ask Malik. Were you like a lot of other people where for some reason you just instantly thought John Moxley was going to be?
Yeah, because it was WrestleMania. I'm like, there's no way they're letting this. If somehow Tony Khan and Triple H could have worked that out and that could have happened, greatest moment around. I don't care. They're the greatest segment in wrestling history. I don't care what anybody says. It's the greatest thing in wrestling history. If we could have had Mox just for that day, he didn't have to show up the rest of the time. Just for that particular time, oh my gosh, that would have been. And the fact, we were expecting Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Which, I wasn't upset that Stone Cold didn't show up, but I was expecting him. But the fact we got Undertaker, oh my gosh, I was like, what? Most unexpected thing forever. So, perfect main event, great story build up. It just had so many layers to it of Cody winning the Rumble again, then getting it taken away from him, and then taking it back, and then we get the final boss, which is like some of the best stuff The Rock has done in years.
Oh yeah,
and then you get everything at WrestleMania, the bloodline match before that where Cody lost and now the odds are stacked against him, and then him finishing the story. beautiful moment, man. It was incredible, man. So I definitely have to say that's number one. I don't see how anybody else could have anything else but that at number one. So
Completely agree.
Right.
number
we agree.
two is going to be interesting because I have one for number two, but I want to see what you guys have first. So what would you have in the second spot?
Mario, go ahead.
So my second spot, I know a lot of people, didn't like the ending of this match, but I think without this match happening the way it did, we probably don't get to the arguably the greatest WrestleMania main event, or arguably the greatest WrestleMania of all time. I have Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 39.
Okay.
I think the ending
sorry,
kind of ruined it for a lot of people. Sorry, the ending kind of ruined it for a lot of people. But I think overall, if you rewatch the match was solid. It was Cody. We all thought Cody was gonna win. I don't know about you guys. I thought Cody was gonna win. I'm pretty sure Vince felt the same way.
I had Roman Reigns.
You had Roman Reigns. Okay, I genuinely thought this was when Cody finished the story, and when Roman pinned, I was shocked. I thought he was gonna kick out of the solo spike, Samoan spike.
Yeah.
So I think it's undervalued.
Okay. Vincent, what about you?
All right, so I'll say this: it was a toss-up when making this list. I definitely did have that one up there, but I'm not gonna lie. For me, this match was just so much fun. SummerSlam 2022 against Brock Lesnar. The whole ending with the tractor situation, that thing, I just watching it, I was so hyped. It was completely insane. I mean, and Brock and Roman's feud alone over the years have been great. I mean, it's just always a constant back and forth. The Beast versus the Big Dog, the Beast versus the Tribal Chief. No matter which way you look at it, they've always been, they've been at the top. So for that match to just go above and beyond the way it did, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that Triple H's first pay-per-view?
Yeah.
What a way to start! What a way to start!
I was there for that match.
It was solid.
That's a great one. I think we all three have different answers actually, because mine is not yours and mine is not yours. My number two, which I always thought was Roman's best match until the Cody match, the second time, I got to say Roman Reigns versus Drew at Clash at the Castle. That was like the first time most of us thought Roman could lose and didn't know if he was going to win. If you go back and watch the atmosphere, it had everything. It had the atmosphere, it had the unpredictability, it had the energy, the back and forth, the false finishes, and then Solo coming up. And he talked about shocking endings. I mean, that was the first one. That was maybe the second one. That was like maybe the second one, but the first big one where most people thought Roman was really losing because where it was at, who it was against, the moment for Drew not getting it in front of the fans. It was the perfect atmosphere. And then when that 1, 2, 3 hit, everybody was like, no way. There's no way that they really just did that. And when it happened, I think that's when people understood that Roman Reigns was at a different type of level with his heel work. Like he's like the Thanos of WWE now. Like most people in the situation, most people probably would have lost to give Drew the moment and everything. But Roman was at such a peak storyline with such a run, they kept it going. And that was like, I think the first big before the Cody, because that was before the Cody Rhodes match at 39. But that was the first big one where it was like, most of us thought Roman. I didn't know who was winning that match. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. I think Roman's winning, but I mean, for Drew, how can you pass that up though? Like it's right there. It's in the palm of their hands. They passed it up. No, and Roman didn't have the bloodline with him either, so he was by himself. So you didn't know what was. I didn't know Solo was gonna be there. I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a shock right there.
I would have to say that's number two for me, man. I hear the arguments for both of you guys. The SummerSlam match, I was there for that. That was a fun match to watch, even though most of Brock and Roman's matches weren't that great. That one was damn good. The Cody second match, obviously, just for certain reasons, the shock value as well. Thought it was a great main event. But I would have to say Drew at Clash at the Castle.
So I'm not mad at that because Drew and Roman is my number 3. My toss-up was between Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 39 and Roman and Drew. That was my toss-up for number 2. I agree with everything you said. And then we also got Austin Theory coming with the briefcase and then Tyson Fury, that whole segment. You truly didn't know what to expect. I went into it thinking Roman was going to win. And then during mid-match, I'm thinking, holy shit, I think Drew's actually going to pull this off. Like, he's actually going to win. Like, it's the perfect crowd. The moment is perfect for Drew McIntyre to win the title there. So I agree with everything you just said. I I put Cody and Roman at number 2 just because it may just be recency bias, but WrestleMania 40 for me, like it was just epic, right? Like
Yeah,
I look at it as
100%.
the best main event of WrestleMania of all time, in my opinion. And so without WrestleMania 39, I just don't think we get to that point.
I mean, yeah, I see that point. That's a good point. I wasn't looking at it that way, but for me, the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking at just that particular match quality of the story that it had. Because I have Cody and Roman 2 and 1 in my top 5, but there's actually a couple of matches that I have before the Cody and Roman first one, which I'll throw out there in a little bit that we'll dive into. Vincent, how do you feel? It seems like, so I guess we're at the majority rule. So it seems like me and him are not putting Brock and Roman at number 2.
It is on my list, but it's not 2. It's not in the
So,
top
See,
five.
and that, in my opinion, I mean, like I said, when I say it was a toss up, it definitely was a toss up to put that one at number 2. I absolutely love the Cody and Roman match at 39. I mean, I completely agree. It was truly like, oh my gosh, this is it. Cody's about to do it. He's about to finish the story, what everyone's been waiting for. The shock value that everyone had was almost like when the streak got broken at 30. Like everyone's face was just, jaw on the floor. And all it did was just make everyone go, holy crap, Roman he's unstoppable. You can't defeat this man.
Yeah.
And then same with the Drew and Roman match. I have that on my list as well. And we'll discuss, I mean, I'll get to that one, like how you said it also. Yeah, that one, I think I agree with Mario. I went in thinking, oh, this is Roman's match. No big deal. Mid-match, I for real started thinking, holy crap. If Drew pulls this off, I'm not even going to be mad at it.
When he hit that last Claymore, I thought that was it. It's done.
I thought that was it too.
And the thing is, that crowd was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All these international crowds, man, I'm sorry. I feel like everyone already knows this. They put us to shame. they put the U.S. to shame, dude.
Yeah.
So if we had to vote between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns versus Cody,
Vincent's the tiebreaker.
which one you putting? I still have to vote for Roman and Drew for me.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Cody and Roman.
I think I have to put Cody and Roman.
Okay.
I have to put Cody and Roman.
Majority rule. So we will put Cody and Roman, the second one, at number 1, and the first one at number 2. So for the third spot, what are we putting what do you guys have for the third spot?
Go ahead, Vincent.
For me, I have Cody versus Roman at 39. That's the only reason why I had to do it at number 2.
Okay, so you had that third spot. You had Roman.
I have Roman and Drew. Yeah.
Okay, so I would still say Roman. I can't put Roman and Drew at the top 3. I can't put that at the top. If I can't have that number 2, it's got to be top 3 for me. So I'll have to fight for that one if I have to.
I agree.
So Vincent, or what do you agree with that one, or do you have another one you want to put out there?
No, that was it. Yeah, Cody or Roman and Drew for top 3 or number 3. That's fine.
Okay, so Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre Clash at the Castle 2022 will be number 3. Now for the next 2 spots, we have the next 2, which I'm gonna be interested to see what you guys have, because I have what I would have in my top 5, these 2 matches in particular. This was my third match that I had over Roman and Cody. My third match, which now I'm going to hope to be in the 4th spot, I have Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso at Hell in a Cell in 2020 during the pandemic. This was the early stages of that Bloodline storyline before Jey Uso even broke out to become what he is today. That's the first cinema moment of the Bloodline for me. The back and forth, Roman Reigns trash talking, trying to get Jey to acknowledge him, Jimmy coming out, Roman Reigns having to punish Jimmy for Jey just to say I quit. The end when Jey and Jimmy are in the ring, and then Roman sitting up there with his uncle and his dad, and they put the Ula Fala around his neck, and both guys are like in disbelief, like what is happening here? Like what is going on, man? Like that to me was like the first real cinema moment that I felt of the Bloodline story. Like this shit is really, really good. Like I don't know what they're doing here, but this is really, really good. What I'm seeing right here, man. And it also made Jey Uso stand out too, just by himself. So for me, I would put that at number 4. I don't know if you guys have a different rebuttal, but
no, I mean that's solid. For my number 4, I really enjoyed Roman versus Sammy at Elimination Chamber. I'm not sure if people have it that high on their list, but for me, I really enjoyed it. I thought for a while we saw Sammy be kind of like, no disrespect, but he kind of was mediocre for a little bit. And then he takes this funny role, right, with the bloodline, and it's all great. It's all jokes. We love it. But it's almost like you kind of forgot. I don't know about you guys, but for me, right, you just kind of forget how elite Sami Zayn is. So then once we get that turn at Royal Rumble, which was fucking epic, and I'm sure we'll address that here later, but you get that turn, and then Sami and Roman at Elimination Chamber. I never once thought that Sami Zayn was going to win, but Sami Zayn proves how elite he is at wrestling. He reminds everybody how elite he is. And so it's almost like, he just had to remind everybody. And I thought it was just great storytelling. He have his wife in the crowd. The crowd is just wanting Sami so bad to win. I don't think any of us thought he was going to win, but, it still was a solid ass match. So I have it at my number 4. But I understand a lot of people probably don't have it that high.
Yeah, I definitely don't have that one that high, but that's a really good match. Great atmosphere again, with a great crowd, hometown guy. Most of us knew that his dreams were going to get crushed, but there was still a little hope. Still had a little bit of hope there.
Yeah.
So, Vincent, what about you?
For me, actually, I have the Royal Rumble that Mario just mentioned against Kevin Owens in 2023. That one right there, with I guess the Sami turn at the end. First off, I mean, just the match itself, brutal match, trying to teach Kevin Owens a lesson, trying to make a point out of it, trying to get under Sami's skin, which, I mean, obviously that's what it's going to do. He's like, hey, this used to be your boy, but now you're with us now. So all that brutality in that match was amazing. And then obviously the ending, after Roman wins, obviously, handcuffing KO to the ropes, having the Usos get involved, and then Roman trying to hand Sami the chair, like all that. I mean, you mentioned earlier with the Jey Uso stuff, cinema. That's another one of those cinema moments that we just like, oh my gosh, that's why. I mean, this is another moment to add to this iconic bloodline story that's been going on for, I guess, 4 years now. I mean, it was absolutely amazing.
Okay, so I actually don't have that Kevin Owens match on my list, so I'm surprised you actually said that one.
I have it on my list, but it's a lot lower.
Yeah, that was a good match. That one didn't make my list. There was another Kevin Owens match that I have on here that I thought was better. I think for me, it's more so of the moment that outweighs anything. Like, the match was okay. It was brutal, but I think that moment afterwards is what really stands out. Like the turn, and then Jay walking out of the ring and everything. Like, the whole thing was just like pure like movie like quality stuff.
That's so crazy that was already like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's fucking crazy.
And then the match you said, the Sami Zayn match, I would put that on here, but I wouldn't have that as high. So
that's fair.
How are you guys? What direction you guys feeling?
I'm willing to negotiate and put the Jey Uso Hell in a Cell one. I don't have that one on my list. I know it's historical. I have another Jey Uso match on my list. But I'm willing to.
So what Jey Uso match did you want to
I have the one with him and Roman at what was the PLE called? The Clash of Champions. That to me is what started the whole bloodline storyline when Jimmy Jimmy throws the towel in.
Yeah. That was a Clash of Champions. Okay.
That's when I'm watching, right, and we're all kind of trying to get used to Roman Reigns being a heel, because for so long he was the big dog. For so long it was like, he was a good guy. Even though maybe we didn't want him, WWE was shoving him down our throats. It wasn't really till Clash of Champions that I truly started to understand, like, okay, this dude is for real different. Like, he's actually a whole 180 per character. So I don't have the Hell in a Cell one on my list. I have that one, but it's later. So I'm willing to put the Hell in a Cell one if Vincent is also.
Yeah, I'm down to put Hell in a Cell.
Okay, so just based off how everybody's majority, you're going here. Won't debate anymore. We'll put Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso Hell in a Cell 2020 in the 4th spot. We all have different lists, so our answers are all different here. So I feel like our 5th answer is going to be different too, because this one I think may shock some people how high I have this one. So Vincent, which one do you have at number 5? Let's see if we all have some similar ones here.
Oh, my number 5 is the 2020 Hell in the Cell versus Jey Uso.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's why I'm perfectly fine with saying, all right.
What about you? What do you have in your 5th spot then?
I have Roman versus Logan Paul at Crown Jewel 2022.
That is actually my number 5 spot. Roman Reigns, Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. That's why I said I think that one may shock some people for me, because that match was ridiculously good for no reason. I
It
don't
was
know
so
how.
entertaining.
I don't know how they managed to pull it off. The build up, nobody really cared about because it was Logan Paul's third match ever in WWE, and people just did not like him getting that title match at all in that main event spot. But that match over exceeded anybody's expectations. And I was there for Logan Paul's first 2 matches, and he did very well. But for his third match ever to be against the top guy and perform the way he did, that's when I knew like he's really like he's really meant for this shit. This is crazy. Like he is really good. Like there's no denying it at this point. Like the way he was able to perform and listen for certain spots, be in the spots that he was supposed to be in, the content that he made on top of that, like I didn't expect Logan Paul to win, but I never would have expected that match to be as good as it was. Like that match absolutely blew me away. I was like, no way this match is, and Saudi out of all places too. No way this match is living up to these expectations right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Am I fully watching this match and thoroughly not only enjoying it, but thoroughly impressed with what was really happening? Like after that, I knew WWE had something really good in Logan Paul, despite whether people liked him or not. I was like, nah, Logan Paul is really like meant for this. Like if he really wants to pursue this, he can succeed.
I agree with everything you just said. You're right. It was way more entertaining than I expected. That's where Logan truly showed that he is a professional wrestler, and if he takes it serious, the sky's the limit, right? This guy could be a future champion. I think Logan Paul deserves a ton of credit, but I also think Roman deserves a ton of credit for that match because Roman made him look like a superstar. I know Logan is a superstar outside of wrestling, but inside of wrestling, it's very easy to get a partner that doesn't do maybe not his job, but he doesn't really care to push you, right? Or to make you look like a star. Roman Reigns made him look like a star, bro. So I agree with everything you just said. The Usos coming out and taking out on Logan's entourage, Jake Paul showing up, and him squaring off with Solo Sikoa, him punching the Usos, like it was just so crazy. You're right. I didn't think Logan was going to win at all, but I was way more entertained with this match than a lot of Roman's matches and than I thought I was going to be. So yeah, I have that in my top 5.
It was one of those situations where you definitely go, oh my gosh, like he's holding his own against the fucking tribal chief right now. Like this is insane.
And I think he tore his knees, right, or something.
Yeah, he did something
even
to
during
his
the
knees
match.
Got injured in the match too, and kept going.
Yeah.
It was great. He did a frog splash with a selfie and with the phone in his hand.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So Vincent, are you okay with agreeing to that, or do you?
No, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay, so number 5, we're gonna do Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul, crown jewel.
I'm looking at my list right now. I'm okay if we go with your guys' picks on that one.
I think also another surprise for me was Edge really, his run that he came back to WWE. I feel like he wasn't really putting anybody over. And so I kind of agree with you. Like I did go into that match thinking, I wouldn't be surprised if Edge wins this match just to make him, this is another accomplishment on his already legendary resume. So I don't want to say I was surprised, but I was kind of surprised that Edge lost in that fashion as well. Like he was willing to be put on Daniel Bryan and have Roman pin the both of them. And then just that shot alone is so iconic, bro. I just feel like it's got to be on everybody's top 10. Yeah.
I definitely would have that number 6. So if we're agreeing, we'll put that down at number 6. We have Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 37. Number 7, man. So we got a couple of spots left, man. What's the matches you feel like we got to start putting on here for you?
In my 7th spot, I had Roman versus Jey Uso at Clash of Champions 2020. Just because, like I said earlier, to me that was the start of the Bloodline storyline officially. Roman dominates, and he truly and then you look at, not only does he dominates Jey Uso, and then you look at where Jey Uso is now. Jey Uso's arguably on the same level as Roman. Like he told Roman, like you can't talk to me the same way that you used to talk to me, right? Like we're on the same level now. So you look back at that match, and then you look to where he's at now. Bro, it's just crazy the way his story arc has taken over and the character growth that he's had. And so
in my 7th spot, I had Roman versus Brock at SummerSlam, the last man standing match. I was there live for that one. The tractor stuff was crazy. This is what I feel like the WrestleMania match should have been. Like I feel like they should have had the stipulation at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then it ended there, but then they did it at SummerSlam, so it was cool. Ironically to me, their best matches were the first one they had at WrestleMania 31, and then the last one they had at SummerSlam. So those were like the two best matches they had. Everything else in between was either very mid or just very bad. So
I do have that one on my list, but it's lower. I agree. I thought whenever we got announced that we were getting that match, I just thought again, like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to have Brock lose and not look weak? They did it in a great fashion. I mean, he bulldozes the fucking ring and lifts the ring up, and then you want to make Brock look strong. The way to get him to stay down, stack a bunch of shit on top of him, and then all of y'all stand on top of him. Truly showed how much of a beast he was. Yeah, but I know Brock and Roman was on your list earlier. So I mean, if you want to put that one, then
I'm down to put it. I'm down to put it just because if it's on this list, I'm okay with that.
That's fine with me. Yeah, we could put Brock in.
Number 7 may not be as high or as low as some people, but I think it's kind of in the middle. So we'll do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam 2022 last man standing match. That's number 7.
For me, I have Roman versus KO, the one that Vincent had mentioned earlier at Royal Rumble 2023. I know overall the match, from a technical standpoint, isn't that great, right? Roman just kind of dominates the whole time, and KO gets his ass whooped. It's more so for the moment after. I just feel like that moment itself is so iconic that it's almost like, bro, I kind of have to put it in my top 10 because you could argue that's one of the most biggest pops of all time, right? When Sammy hits Roman in the back with the steel chair. So I know for most people it's the moment more so than the match. But that moment is so iconic, and I think it'll go down in history, and we'll look over it, years to come. So that's why I had to put it on my list. From a technical standpoint, that's why it's lower. That's why I have it at number 8. But that's my 8 spot is Roman versus KO at Royal Rumble 2023.
For me, I have the one you mentioned earlier, Mario, the Elimination Chamber versus Sami Zayn. I mean, everything that you said earlier, as far as, we knew Sami wasn't going to win. The crowd was into it. All of us at home were into it. It truly showed what Sammy's all about. Obviously, like I said, none of it. I didn't expect Sammy to win, but just like how we mentioned earlier, or I mentioned earlier with that Logan Paul situation, in the middle of it, you just thought, could Sammy pull this off? Could we really see the title, get in Sammy's hands? Is this possible? But at the end of it, obviously, tribal chief overall. But I absolutely, that Sammy match was a great one for me.
So I am willing to put the Sami Zayn match in the 8th spot because I do have that. That was kind of in the lower end a little bit more, but I do have that on my list. The crowd, even the build, like you did, yeah, Sammy was like the ultimate underdog. You know what I'm saying? The underdog from the underground was his, motto in NXT, and obviously most of us didn't believe Sammy was going to win, but if you're Canadian, especially you were there, you just had that hope, like, man, like, what a moment this would be. You know what I mean? Like, what can you imagine the moment? It would have been crazy. So I'm cool with putting that at number 8. If we all agree on that one, I'm fine with that one.
I think I had it higher. I had it at my 4, but as long as it's in the top 10, I'm cool. So I'm cool with putting it at number 8 as well.
Okay, so Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Elimination Chamber, we'll agree to put in the 8th spot. My 2 matches that I have Roman Reigns versus Edge at Money in the Bank. Thought that match, most of us thought that was going to happen at WrestleMania right before Daniel Bryan was at it, but I thought the match was great. First crowd back after COVID, like first full capacity crowd. The back and forth action, and then you talk about moments too. The end where Rollins cost Seth, which led to their feud, and then Cena coming back at the end was crazy, like an insane pop. That would be on there. And then I have a Kevin Owens match, but it's not the one at the Royal Rumble. Mine is Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens at TLC in 2020.
Okay. Jey Uso helping him out.
Jey Uso, and basically a 2-on-1. But
yeah,
that was kind of the first time where you kind of started to get the vibes that it's going to take a lot to take the title from Roman Reigns. It's pretty much bloodline versus all. I thought the overall action was great. Definitely a better overall quality match to me than the Royal Rumble one. Obviously, the moment doesn't compare, but the Royal Rumble moment is for sure bigger. But those would be my 2 matches that I have.
And then my number 10 was the Royal Rumble Last Man Standing versus Kevin Owens. That match, short match compared to a lot of other matches, but at the same time, still with no crowd, utilizing the whole arena, taking it all over the place. thought it was such a good time. I don't know what this says about me. I'm just enjoying KO just getting his ass whooped all over the place. I don't know why, but I feel like just him in these
He got
situations.
hit by a golf cart, right?
Yes, he got hit by a golf cart and everything, but just showing how much it would take just to get KO down is so like it shows what type of what fighter KO is. And obviously Roman's willing to take it there.
So one is Roman versus Cena for me. I felt like, John Cena is my GOAT. I felt like obviously we know John Cena is moving on to, to Hollywood and he's not full time anymore. But I felt like that truly was a passing of the torch to Roman Reigns. I know Roman Reigns has been, the top guy for a while, but that truly was like wow, my GOAT is he's done. That he's going to start putting these people over. What a win to add to Roman Reigns' tribal chief resume. And then Brock coming at the end, I just thought was epic as well. Because at that time it was cool just to see Brock Lesnar to come back. And then I'll throw in a bonus one. I think his match with Daniel Bryan on SmackDown was pretty solid as far as graps go, as far as technical wrestling goes. Yeah. I thought that was pretty solid. So I'll throw that one out there as well.
If we had to narrow it down to one that we had to fight for, I would have to say Roman versus Edge at Money in the Bank. If I had to pick one, just one particular match that I want to name, that one to me is one that I definitely would say should be on here somewhere. Like, the build was really good, the match was really good, the end was really good, and what we got after the match was really good. So I mean, there wasn't a bad thing about it from any aspect to me.
If I had to take one out, I mean, I'm picking the Roman versus KO at Royal Rumble 2023.
I had that 2023 Roman or Rumble versus KO, so I can take away that Royal Rumble last man standing and put in. I mean, I'll be okay with that 2023.
Let's just, if we want to, we could do Roman and Edge, and then I can agree to put the Royal Rumble match on here because you both had that one on there before.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm okay with it not being on the list, but Vincent is right. I mean, it truly is an iconic moment, right? Like it truly does lead to
it holds weight,
long-term storytelling and from leading up to it, and then even after, right? Sammy goes on to WrestleMania with KO to beat the Usos' legendary tag run. It does lead up to a lot of stuff, so I'm okay with it being on the list as well.
Okay, so what spot you want to put the Edge match first or last, or what spots do you want to put these in?
I'm down to put the Edge at 9 and KO at Rumble or at 10.
Me, I feel like for me the Edge match isn't very memorable. I would put that at 10, and I'd put the Roman and KO at 9. But I know Malik that Edge match I know that Edge match you love. It seems like.
Yeah, that match was pretty good, man. Plus, we talk about that had the match quality in the moment, so I feel like that just holds more. I mean, the Rumble moment is better than the Cena coming back moment, but I just feel like that match quality was okay. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was cool. I just feel like if that moment didn't happen, I feel like that wouldn't be on here. Like,
no, that 100% agree.
Yeah,
the Roman dominates the whole match.
Yeah, if that's why that wasn't on here for me, because I'm like, if that moment didn't happen, that match doesn't make the cut. But you guys are really high on it, so I want to give you guys respect too. So if you guys really feel like that should be on here, I'm okay with putting that at number 10, and then we could do Roman versus Edge at number 9. So we could put Roman Reigns versus Edge at number 9, and then Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, Royal Rumble 2023 at number 10. If that's what you guys want to do.
But this is your show. Yeah, you want to say it? Go for it.
No, I mean, we all have to agree on it.
No, yeah, most definitely.
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so overall, not a bad list. I think we all have the majority.
We all have different lists, huh?
I think we all have the majority of what most people would have in the 10 for match quality. Definitely probably some adjustments I would make as far as the order, just my personal preferences, as we all would, right? But
yeah.
Overall, I mean, I'm okay with the list, man. I'm okay with how the list is looking. Well, let us know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. Let us know if you agree or disagree, how the order, is positioned. If you would make the order different, if there's a different match you would put on here and swap it out. As always, please make sure to subscribe, like, share, comment below, turn on notifications to be updated with all pro wrestling content that we upload right here on the channel, and to be updated when we go live every Sunday for the No Name Wrestling Podcast at 5 p.m. Eastern time zone. Fellas, thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate you guys for being a part of this. We always, have different opinions and different perspectives. So you guys threw out some matches that I didn't have. I don't know if I threw out some ones that, that kind of surprised you all as well, but